Oh yeah, it is game day in the NOJ. Welcome back into our league studio, everyone. I'm Alex Bastiavansky. Great to see you again. Let's get you caught up on all the latest from the league. There's tons to cover and not much time to do it, so let's go.
That's off the wall, but it's picked up by Garvin. Garvin goes to the far side, now coming in. Hurst with a chance, they score! Hurst gets on the board first.
Hurst was visiting Powassan last night, first overall in the league against the second place squad, and this game lived up to expectations.
Now it's played back to the blue line for Roussel. Roussel walks the line, gets it back for Kratz. Kratz, he's got a guy all over him, over for Roussel now with some space. Roussel walks in, Roussel scores! Highlight reel goal, Dylan Roussel, and the Voodoos are in flight here. Puck to the far side now. Saginaw walking in, leaves it back for Boys with a shot. They score! Anthony Boys! 5-hole on Boivin. What a goal! Dawson back for Lefebvre, and the puck is just off his stick, and now Como going the other way. Como walks in, takes the shot, he scores! As the penalty expired, picked up by Hurst again at their own blue line. Blyer with it. Down the ice, here's a chance now for Hurst again off the chance, and what a save made by Vreugdenhil. As off the boards, Hurst had a gorgeous opportunity, and Vreugdenhil maybe save of the year. 35 seconds on the man advantage, quickly back in as Hurst, as the Voodoos make a change. McKay has it. McKay to Ouellette, they score! Somehow beating Vreugdenhil on the near side at a very tough angle. Saginaw for Cowell, back for Saginaw. Saginaw with a shot, he scores! Ryan Saginaw ties it on the power play. What a goal from the pride of Pittsburgh. Now it's Kratz with the puck off the draw. Kratz gains some space as he walks in. Throws the puck back for Russo. Russo threw it into the corner. As a wraparound chance, they score! Zaboomafoo, it's Marcus Kratz, his first of the season. 4-3, Powassan Voodoos win.
Marcus Kratz coming through in the clutch, and thanks to Chris Dawson for this heads up. Apparently that is head coach Peter Goulet's 100th win with the Voodoos. Congrats, Peter. Espanola entered the evening tied with Powassan in second place. They were visiting Timmins, and it's the Paper Kings drawing first blood. The brutal giveaway, Callum Miller pounces, one-zip Espanola, stayed that way until the third.
Kevion. Turn over here, Guthrie inside. Guthrie scores. Braden Guthrie outweighs Frederick Cousineau and gets a big insurance goal here early in the third period, Into Giacomo for Espanola. Timmins wins the draw. Romanuk scores! Diego de Silva! It over Logan Dale.
The Rock cut their deficit to a single goal there, but they would get no closer as Carter Drigo pots the empty netter for the Kings. That snaps an 11-game losing streak for Espanola in Timmins. Sioux Thunderbirds hosting Iroquois Falls last night. No scoring until the second period.
Hopkins is parked in front. Shornley has it. Back to the point. Holding a one-timer. Rang it off the post. Rebound chance. Great stuff. Another chance. They score. It's Hill. 1-0 Thunderbirds. Storm doing a great job keeping everything to the outside. Atkinson back toward McCauley. Takes a shot. He scores. McCauley with a shot as he was going down to the ice. Popped the bottle and made it 2-0. Off the stick. And Jones McDonald will poke it forward. Here goes Pisnichny. He's got Atkinson with him. Takes a shot. Stopped by Hall. It looked like he was reading the pass. Comes to McDonald. He scores.
The T-Birds win a tight defensive contest, blanking the Storm 3-0. Okay, one more from a busy Friday night. The improving Sioux Eagles hosting the defending champion Sudbury Cubs.
Lazarus, rather. Dolan Nemisek out there with Braden Walsh. He'll skate in, stop in front of the Cubs bench. Out gets it up top. Shot put on by the Eagles, and he scores! Top right corner, CJ Zaharias, second goal of the season. Long tries to shoot, hits the leg of Zaharias. Long back up top, rotates it to Vlad on the right wing. 1 minute to go. Shot put on by Vlad. Bottle Rocket scores on the power play. Players come together on the right wing boards, battling for it. One of them being Stawodzinski, who fires that one in. And Marceau, who scores! Ties it up! And Marceau! Goal number 14 on the season. Pinned up now in front of the Eagles bench. A few players collide. Antonioni being one of them, still battling for it. Comes out with it. Here comes Antonioni. Backhand pass and scored! Cubs take the lead back halfway through this third.
The Cubs would add it to double up the Eagles 4-2. Sudbury now on a 3-game winning streak. Okay, today's game preview is brought to you by Rogers. Rogers Great Deals shop today, and it's another busy night with 5 games on tap in the NOJHL. Let's start with the Sioux Thunderbirds hosting Sudbury. The T-Birds taking down Iroquois Falls yesterday. The Cubs, of course, beating the Sioux Eagles. 2 games between the teams. They faced each other this season, and they have split those games. The script will flip tonight as Espanola will host the Timmins Rock after playing in Timmins last night. The Kings, of course, won that game 3-1. By the way, Espanola's Cameron Menard had his 12-game point streak snapped last night. And a big pickup to tell you about. Nolan Mason made his debut for Timmins last night after being acquired from the Winnipeg Blues of the MJHL. Mason last season with French River, great performance, 33 points. That is a good pickup for the Timmins Rock. After suffering losses last night, the Sioux Eagles and Iroquois Falls will be looking to get back on track. One game they've played each other this season, and it was a dandy. The Storm came back to beat the Eagles 5-4 on September 20th. Powassan taking on Kirkland Lake. The Miners right now trying to snap a 4-game losing streak. The teams have split 2 games in the season, which included that overtime victory for Kirkland Lake right there. French River taking on the Hearst Lumberjacks. Hearst fell in overtime to Powassan last night. Of course, the Rapids currently on a 3-game losing streak after falling to Sudbury Thursday. The first meeting between the clubs this season. Primetime player from last night, Logan Vale. Great performance between the posts for Espanola, leading them to victory, stopping 42 of 43 shots. And your play of the day brought to you by BrokerLink. Auto, home, and business insurance. BrokerLink, life is confusing. Your insurance shouldn't be. We're giving it to Cole Vrugdenhill for the utter larceny here.
Hearst again at their own blue line. Blyer with it down the ice. Here's a chance now for Hearst again off the chance. And what a save made by Vrugdenhill. As off the boards, Hearst had a gorgeous opportunity, and Vrugdenhill maybe save of the year.
Yeah, and of course, just remember that all throughout the NOJHL season, to stay up to date with everything that's going on with the league, be sure to check out its official social media outlets. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Welcome inside the Powassan Sportsplex here for some Saturday night hockey on Flow Hockey as the Kirkland Lake Gold Miners come to town to face the Powassan Voodoos, a team that has been red hot. They're 9-1-1 on the season. I'm Ben Sargent, alongside with me, Mr. Ben Long. So the Ben squared tonight as we get set up for O Canada, and when we come back, we'll have our starting netminders followed by the drop of the puck. So 2 games these teams have faced. Voodoos beat Kirkland Lake in Kirkland Lake 5-1 on the 26th of September. And then October 3rd, they came in and upset the Voodoos 3-2 in overtime on a goal by Caleb Gustav, who is no longer with the Gold Miners, as well as they just relieved their coach as well. We have a lot of storylines to get through tonight. First, starting in net for Kirkland Lake, Brian Rathwell. We have a very interesting thing about their net mining situation as well that we'll get to in a moment. Rathwell 1-3 with a 4.18 goals against average and 867 save percentage. And on the other side, Peter Goulet, second season that he's had to have brand new goaltenders between the pipes. He goes with Derek Champagne, who has 4-0 at 202 goals against average, 937 save percentage in the second year in a row as well. That goaltending is a big plus here for the Voodoos. The Voodoos in their home greens with the yellow accents. On the other side, Kirkland Lake with their whites, also yellow accents as the puck is dropped, and we are underway here in Powassan. We'll get the thoughts of my partner Ben Long here in just a moment, as a big win here for Powassan last night against the Hearst Lumberjacks. Marcus Kratz scores the winner, as there's a first shot on net there by Lefebvre, and it's stopped by Rathwell. Marcus Kratz seconds into overtime. There's going to be an early penalty as well. A tripping call, and it's going to go to against Kirkland Lake, and going off to the box there. Have to wait to see the exact number.
They're 23.
Isaiah Allen off to the box there for tripping. So an early power play for Powassan. Ben, as the Powassan power play just gets started, what are the things you're looking for in tonight's game?
The big thing is puck movement. If they can keep the puck moving well, keep good control of it. When you control the puck, you control the game. And, with such strong goaltending as the Voodoos have had all season, especially from Champagne, has looked really good in net, and he's in tonight. Verugden Hills looked really good. Nashaw, one of our storylines, is the emergency backup for the Gold Miners tonight.
Yep, their normal goaltender is out with an injury, Glenn McInnes. So as you said, Najo is on the bench for them. Now here's an opportunity shorthanded for the Gold Miners. Getting bumped off the puck, there's number 13, Ben Lyons. And now out in front, and that was looking for the stick of Ethan Alexander. But it goes just wide. Now the other way, here come the Voodoos into the zone with a burst of speed. Now they're going to check up, and there's a shot from the point. Rothwell with a nice save there off the stick of Jax Pereira. Now the other way, here's Alexander all alone. Alexander shoots, and Champagne has to squeeze the pads as he was going 5-hole. And Champagne with his first big save of the game. And what an opportunity shorthanded here, Ben, for the Kirkland Lake.
That was a very heads-up play by Alexander to see that the puck was being turned over and get a step outside. So he was away with the puck when he received it and got an absolutely great breakaway chance there. But Champagne shuts the door.
Play underway. There's still just under a minute on the power play left from where we're standing. We can't see the exact timing with the way that the Zamboni doors are here in Powassan, but we'll keep an eye out to see how long the power play will remain. Now here's a shot from the point. It's tipped, and Rathwell just has to shoot it into the corner. Now back in front. Over. There's a shot. They score! Opening the scoring are the Voodoos here on the power play, and leading the charge is the man who won things for the Voodoos last night in against Hearst, Marcus Kratz. On the power play, it's 1-0 Powassan.
Yep, big goal last night for him winning the game, and a big goal tonight starting it off. Speaking of the game last night, Peter Goulet's 100th victory, which is always a big monument. Congratulations to him, a great coach and person.
Joined the team back in 2022. I believe it, 3 years ago. Peter's been here, finally collected his 100th win, and this Voodoos team, talking to Chris Dawson, the GM, before the game, he said this is the best this team has looked in a very long time. When you look at not just are they 9-1-0-1, but the last couple of years they've struggled with some consistency. They've been winning games, losing games, a lot of 500 records. And this year, though, they've run back-to-back wins. They've created some streaks. They're winning games consistently. They find themselves 2 points behind Hearst with 3 games in hand.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I remember at training camp looking at the team going like, okay, the team looks good, but the goaltending looks questionable. And since then, we've had 2 new goalies come in, and it's just totally night and day story where the goaltending has just been lights out for the Powassan.
A big part of that is their farm system as it's dumped into the Voodoos zone. I guess you could call farm system the Trappers. A lot of Trapper connections on this team as that's starting to bear fruit. Caleb Dawson, former Trapper, part of their championship run, leads the team with 9 goals, which ties his total from last year as he had a bit of a goal drought. As it's back and forth hockey right now in the Voodoo zone. That's almost stolen behind the net. But now Powassan looks to get it out of the zone, but they can't as it's kept in there by Harvey. Both teams fighting for it on the near side, right near the hash marks. It comes loose, and it finds its way onto Raphael Landry's stick, and now it comes out, and now there's a race for the puck to break the icing, and they do. And that was a strong play there from Mason Brownlee. But Brownlee was tied up, not able to make a play. The other way comes number 92, Matthew Newman for Kirkland Lake, but then he loses possession, and Powassan look to counterattack. Here's an opportunity in front, and it's tipped and just wide. Marcus Kratz looking for number 2, and 3 goals in 2 games. There's a nice little dangle there by Lefebvre, another former Trapper. It's kept in by a strong play by Rousseau. Into the corner, Lefebvre. Puck battling for it on the near side, comes back to Roussel. There's a shot from the point, and Rathwell with the save. Still fighting for it on the near side. It pops out to Evans for the Gold Miners. Last year when these 2 teams played here in the Sportsplex, there was a couple of close moments. Here's Pereira, Jax Pereira's shot. And Rathwell with another save. Not a lot of room here in the Sportsplex, a very small rink. Not a lot of neutral zone ice, so it's a lot of back and forth play as Allen tips it in on the right side of the blue line, and now crashing into the boards hard is Ben Lyons, and now there's going to be a penalty here. It's going to be a cross-check, and it's going to go against...
Looks like Giussoni's going to be taking that one.
Yeah, as you said, number 3, Ben Giussoni going off to the box for the power play. So, Ben, the Voodoos, they score on the power play in their first opportunity. Now the Gold Miners get a chance to do it. What are you looking for in this to get their power play started?
Again, it's the same thing that they want to make sure that they're controlling that puck well and keeping it and getting shots towards the net. They want to make sure you have guys in front because Champagne is going to, if he can see the puck, he's going to make the save.
12% on the road for the Gold Miners. There's a shot from Rusu, and it's up by Champagne. As I mentioned, 4 for 33 on the road, so 12% for Kirkland Lake. They're going up against a penalty kill at home, which stands at 80%, only allowing 6 out of 30 power play goals for the Voodoos.
Yeah, the Voodoos have a really great penalty kill. They've scored some goals on it too, so they actually could be dangerous.
There's a shot right off by Fitker, and Champagne gloves it down as they're what we were talking about. If Champagne sees it, he's going to probably make the save. And I will say this, I just did the U16 game for the Trappers last game. Yeah. The level of skill between these two, it's so apparent. It's so much faster, so much crisper. Even doing a lot of the U18 Trapper games, the speed, it doesn't seem that high, but you look at a guy like Ben Brunton, who's now playing in Guelph's system, you understand why some of these teams take time to adjust to this league. As here's Rusu at the point. Fitker shoots one, and it goes off the skate of the defender. Now back out for Fitker at the dot, but it gets cleared away and out into the Gold Miners zone, and they'll have to check up. A minute to go on the power play. Comes out to the blue line. It's wrapped around behind the net there, and here's Harper. Takes it for a skate, and he sends it across. Now here's Rusu, just keeps it in. Harper goes off for a change, so some fresh legs out there. Rusu shot from the point, stopped by Champagne. Another rebound right there, and they score! That's Jake Williams. Harper went off for a change. Williams came on, and he ends up scoring the goal off a rebound from Champagne from a point shot from Rusu. And we're all tied up 1-1, both teams with a power play goal in the evening.
Yeah, those are the types of things that you got to do to get goals by Champaign. Go to the dirty zones, pick up those rebounds, and from Powassan's side, they got to do a better job of clearing that puck and getting it out of there so their goalie doesn't have to worry about those rebounds.
You can really tell what the strategy there was for this Kirkland Lake team, as feeding it to the point, trying to get shots in, whether it was through traffic or getting the rebounds. As we mentioned, their coach no longer with them, as he was let go, Tyler Prasic, earlier this week. It'll be Jim Taylor, their assistant coach, who's manning the helm on the bench, alongside Dave Dubé and Darcy Lance. Here's Brownlee with it. Mason Brownlee, he gets his pocket picked by Anderson. Marno will just have to dump it in. Seven minutes in, already seen 2 goals. Imagine this will be an affair not shy of any goals. Both teams have had a pretty good streak of scoring so far. Williams, now his 6th on the year, maintains his lead for this Kirkland Lake team. He came into the game with 5 goals, and with the sole lead on the team. Again, you talk about Caleb Dawson leading this team with 9 points. Caden Cowell is the overall point getter, though. 23 on the year. He's had 17 assists along with 6 goals. Now Lefebvre comes across the line onside, and Rathwell with another save. In transition, here comes Dianov. Pass comes over. They're looking for Newman. Newman still has it, but he gets his pocket pick there by Russo. But then Powassan loses their possession, but they get it back in their own zone. 7-5 the shots in favor of the home side. 8 minutes gone in this opening frame, as Russo just dumps it in, goes off for a change. And now pinching off the bench with some pressure come the Voodoos, and they manage to keep it in the gold miner zone. Comes out to the point. Here's Evans now, cross neutral ice into the Voodoo zone. And then he loses it as he gets it poked off his stick. It wraps around the boards now on the near side. A couple of white and green shirts fighting for it. Now down into the corner. Back out in front looking for Lyons, but he loses it, and now a fan pass. Now here's Cowell. He's got a man with him in front, tipped just wide. What an opportunity there for Ryan Saginaw, another man who's found his goal-scoring touch this year, as it'll go down for icing. And what an opportunity there. Ryan Saginaw has 7 goals, 9 assists for 16 points. Almost had a great chance, and Cowell almost with his 18th assist.
Yeah, Cowell and Saginaw have been a dynamic pair out there all year. They've had a few different guys playing with them. Right now they're playing with Jax Pereira, and he's a battalion property player, and he's looked really good so far as well.
A lot of connections, of course, when you have a team this close. There's a shot from the point. Champaign to save the rebound. And another rebound goal here from Kirkland Lake. This one off the stick of Jordan Fitker. And the Gold Miners ruining the parade a little bit here as they're up 2-1. 9 minutes into this opening frame.
And that's another one of those rebound goals where Powassan's got to do a better job of getting that puck out of there, blocking their players from getting into the zone. And yeah, you got to be better defensively than that to give your goalie a chance. You can't expect your goalie to steal every game for you.
Jordan Fitker, his 3rd goal of the season. As here's Kirkland Lake coming again on the attack. Both goals have been rebound goals. But now with a burst of speed coming up the line, there was Pavel Barclay, and now the puck ends up coming to Rothwell, who will hang on for the whistle here. And Ben, what do they got to do to get back into this game? When you look at the Voodoos, they played really well coming in. Kratz opens that goal with the power play goal. Now all of a sudden you give up 2. Is it just trying to get back to 2-2 going into the end of the first period, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think a big part of it is that momentum shift that happened, right? From the tying goal and then getting the next goal, they really got to get some good puck possession going on here and get some shots on net.
Cowell won the face-off. There's a shot from the point, and Rathwell will hang on.
They got to get eyes, and you got to get players in front of the goalie's eyes. You can't be letting guys, if you're shooting from the point and the goalie can see it in this league, those are going to be saved every time.
So the lineup again, Cowell versus Lions, and it's won by Kirkland Lake, and they clear it out of the zone, and now in transition again. Williams loses possession. It comes down Brownlee, able to trap that puck down, and now Brownlee comes through with a burst of speed into the Kirkland Lake zone, and he gets stopped up at the hash marks, but he gets the puck wrapping around the net. Cowell now into it with the corner, but it comes out, and then Cowell picks the pocket of the defender. Now there's a chance there off the stick of Raphael Landry, but he wasn't able to get a clean shot away. Now back in the Voodoo zone. Harvey, a shot that goes off the side of the net. Evans at the point, top of the circle. He shoots, and that one goes off the side of the net as well. Looking for that short blocker side. Evans has it again at the point. His shot. It gets tipped. Puck's right there. It comes again. And Champagne gets over. And he's able to stop that gap between his pad and the post just in time, or else it'd be 3-1. Now here's a chance all alone in front. And it ends up innocently going off the stick and off the pad of Champagne. Cowell now through, loses possession, but Brownlee picks it up. Brownlee loses it. It goes back into the neutral zone, and it's going to be sent back into the Kirkland Lake zone by Jackson Marnell. Kirkland Lake in possession in their own zone, though there's a pretty strong press here from the Voodoos. Causing troubles, bringing it through the zone. Here's Parker Evans. He loses it to Jesse Lefebvre. Harper for Kirkland Lake has it. He sends it into the zone there, looking for Newman. And again, Kirkland Lake, another steal in the neutral zone. Lions back for Nusu. Here's Rusu. That pass attempt's off Lefebvre's stick. Dawson's also in the mix there, but it's going to be Lions who breaks out with it, and then he just dumps it deep into the zone. Marnell will come out to play it, then it pops out looking for Lions. Puck's still loose. It's still loose in the slot area and finally cleared away by Powassan. Here's Dawson, Caleb Dawson looking for number 10, but can't get a shot away. There's a strong defensive play by Isaiah Allen. Allen found the box earlier in the period. That led to the Powassan goal, as now a shot from the circle is into the glove of Champagne off of Newman's stick, and he leaves it for his defenseman, who end up just dumping it out into the Kirkland Lake zone, and then Kirkland Lake dumps it back. No icing as it's waved off. Played up to Caden Cowell near his blue line. Cowell gets it up to Pereira. Pereira, he's got a man with him. Pereira shoots, and it goes wide. Blocker side, ends up taking a bounce and going out of play. As we head to our mid-period break, it is Kirkland Lake with a 2-1 lead.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items, or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
So we are halfway through this opening frame between Kirkland Lake and Powassan. It's 2-1 Kirkland Lake, a power play goal, and then another 5-on-5 goal. And Ben, when we look at this game so far, it started off strong. Marcus Kratz getting his second goal in, 10 minutes when you consider the fact that he scored with 12 seconds to beat Hearst yesterday in overtime. And then it's all Kirkland Lake from there, and they've really shown to be the better team, I think, so far in this hockey game.
They've really had a lot of the domination. They've had better passing. They've had better interruption of the other team. They've just interrupted a lot of the Voodoo's attempts at plays. But we'll see how this next half of the period goes.
And we're back underway. 7:53 to go in this opening frame, and it comes all the way down to Champagne will hang on. Not that you can fault him really for the two goals, as both of them shots from the top circle, and it looks like that's what Kirkland Lake's going to try to do. Get people in front of the net, cause rebounds, and try to score on the rebound, and it's going to come down to the slot defense for the Voodoos tonight, which has not been the best when you look at the two goals they've given up. And Peter Goulet, who just won his 100th game, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, would love to finish tonight with his 101st. But lots of hockey left, and only a 2-1 deficit. And in this league, that doesn't mean much, but here's a chance for Leaners, and again into the glove of Champagne.
Yeah, Champagne has been sharp when he's been tasked, but when you're being overwhelmed with rebound chances, there's only so much you can do. But the goaltending on the other side's been equally up to the task. He had one power play goal that, you can't really fault a goalie on those.
The shot that goes wide. Of course, as we said, Naju, who's one of the goaltenders for the Voodoos, he's actually the emergency backup here for Kirkland Lake tonight if something happens to Rackwell, but so far so good. As in comes to the zone, comes the Voodoos. That one, Pavel Barclay loses possession. There's a shot right from the circle on a one-timer coming off the stick there of Owen Head, another former Trapper. In fact, when I did that game against Espanola a few weeks ago, every goal that was scored by the Voodoos, outside of the 3 that was scored by Ryan Saginaw, all came from former Trapper players. Just shows the strength of that squad and something that's really come to fruition this season more than any other as those players mature. Here's Dianov. Leaves it down for Allen. His shot, and it goes off a body and skips wide past the Voodoos netminder. Then it'll just be stolen in the neutral zone there by Nathan Harper and sent back in. Voodoos have it again, lose possession again in the neutral zone, but they regain it. Brown just sends it into the Gold Miners' end of the ice. And now both teams are fighting for it as Powassan trying to dump and chase, trying to now get possession, and Brown's going to get it on the near side. And now the Voodoos are going to try to cycle the puck around the outside of the zone. Circling all the way to the back. And there's a shot from the circle area. Hits off a stick and goes wide. Now another chance in front, and it goes straight through the slot area. No green jerseys were there to pick it up. Voodoos still applying pressure. They still have it. Nobody in the high slot again for that pass attempt. And now it finally comes out of the zone. Looking to play it there was Roussel, but has to go back. And now here dancing through, and there's going to be a penalty as Champagne makes a nice save. But Rafik Dianov was getting hooked up, and it will be going off to the...
Looks like Jax Pereira is going to be getting 2 minutes for interference. Or slashing, sorry.
So already a power play goal here for Kirkland Lake. They're 1 for 1. Went into this game with a 12% power play on the road, and that's slightly above now, but we'll see if they can extend their lead to 2, and they win the faceoff, but it goes right between the defensemen, and Fittger has to grab it on the wrong side of the blue line, and now the Voodoos applying pressure in the neutral zone near the Kirkland Lake end.
And as we've mentioned, the Voodoos' penalty kill can actually be dangerous offensively, which is a rare thing to see, but not uncommon. The Voodoos have a history of having players that...
There's a shot. That one goes right off the post. Dianov's shot hits off the post as it took a weird bounce coming out of the zone and stayed in. Fittger with it now back to the point. Rusu passes it over. There's a shot, and that goes off a body. That one coming off the stick there of Dianov as well. Voodoos trying to get it out, and it's the captain, Justin Rousseau, who finally does. A longtime Voodoo who is given the captain honors. We all know.
From talking to players around the team that there's not a more deserving person on this team to be the captain than Justin Rousseau. From everything I've heard, a true leader on and off the ice.
We know Peter Goulet loves his veterans, as there was almost a tic-tac-toe play earlier that would have resulted in a really nice opportunity for Kirkland Lake. However, it ended up going through an empty slot area. Here's Anderson bringing it back into the zone. 30 seconds left to go on the power play. There's a shot. Champagne stops it. The clearing attempt doesn't go the right way, and now the puck's still loose. It's still loose, and they score! Anderson makes it 3-1. Another power play goal for Kirkland Lake. Again, the Voodoos not able to clear it out of their own slot area, and Anderson makes them pay. It's now 3-1 Gold Miners.
Yeah, this has definitely not been an ideal period for the Voodoos after what started looking like it was going to be a great game for them. Has gone downhill fast. With just under 4 minutes left. It's been all all Kirkland Lake since the first goal, really.
We consider 7 players on the Voodoos have double digits in points. Coming into this game, nobody in Kirkland Lake had double digits in points. In fact, their highest point total was 7 coming into it. As now there's going to be a penalty here. That was Nathan Harper who had the point total coming into the game. Delay penalty coming up here to Kirkland Lake as they touch up. That happened in the neutral zone. It'll be a hooking call, and it looks like it's going to be Lex Lamontagne, I believe, going to the box, number 77 in white.
And yeah, so that was some good momentum the Voodoos had going forward. That was interrupted by that penalty, so now they get the man advantage and 2 minutes to see if they can claw the score back. As we know, scoring can come in high bunches at this level, so the game is far from over, and the Voodoos could turn it around even in this period.
Well, Marcus Kratz did score earlier. He got his second of the year after scoring his first last night in heroic fashion, as the Voodoos look to go 2 for 2 on the power play as to match Kirkland Lake. Make this a 1-goal game with 3 minutes to go. Cowell sends it in. It's going to be a dump and chase. It's going to be picked up on the far side by Boys, and Boys can't handle it. It goes all the way down, and Champagne plays it. Champagne will leave it there for Jasoni. Jasoni up for Cowell. Cowell over for Pereira. Pereira's got Boys with him. Pereira checks up, sends it back to the point for Cowell. Back to Pereira on the near side. Pereira takes a sharp angle shot. Stopped by Rathwell. Now the puck is loose. Pereira down on the ice. And now it's going to be sent all the way out of the zone, and Leaners is coming out short-handed, but it's going to be played neatly by Champagne, who gets it up to Cowell. Voodoo's looking to change. Cowell looking for some help as Leaners is right there. He makes the poke check, but fresh off the bench was Kratz who makes the save. Now there's a sharp angle shot short-handed. Goes off the side of the net, and it'll be picked up by Dawson. Under a minute to go on the power play. Another strong play by Leaners, who picks the pocket of Caleb Dawson. Now Dawson has it again. Roussel sends it over to Kratz. Kratz brings it through into the zone. Kratz over to Roussel. Roussel shot! And it goes high up over to the blocker side, all the way down, and now there's going to be a foot race for it. It's going to be won there by Newman, but it was into the corner of the Powassan zone, and Kratz is right there defensively to stop that opportunity. Lamontagne getting ready as he's now out of the box. It's back to 5-on-5 with $1:16 left in the period. 3-1 Kirkland Lake, a pair of power play goals. Played over to Dawson, leaves it for Russo. Russo does have Lefebvre as a trailer. Lefebvre couldn't handle that hot pass from Dawson, and Newman has it the other way for Kirkland Lake. Newman, was he able to keep on side? Yes, Lamontagne stays on side, but Powassan immediately clears the zone. Dawson up for Lefebvre, less than a minute to go. Lefebvre, he loses possession. Dawson sends it behind the net to Lefebvre. Lefebvre brings it back to the point. There's a shot from the point. Ends up getting tipped and going to the corner. Kirkland Lake with it. Allen was not able to get the puck up. Lamontagne's pass over to Alexander was out of his reach, but it doesn't go for icing as the Voodoos have possession with 26 seconds left on the clock. Banged off the glass. Boys plays it, and that's going to be a high stick as Barkley plays it right after. And there'll be a stoppage of play just outside the Kirkland Lake zone, but it's going to be brought all the way back because of the high stick into the Powassan end.
Yeah, it looked like it was going into the Powassan end, but it's going to be just outside their blue line with 21 seconds. We'll see if Powassan can stave off this period and regroup in the dressing room after.
I'm sure Peter Goulet has a couple of words for his team. On the other side, though, with a fresh new, well, not really a fresh new coach, but the assistant coach taking over after their head coach was relieved of his duties. Must be pretty pleased with his first period here as going up against the hottest team in the NOJHL right now in the 9-1-1 Voodoos, and that will do it with Kirkland Lake leading the charge. 3-1, a pair of power play goals. And Ben, when you look at that period, obviously the Voodoos had their opportunities, but at the end of the day, it was Kirkland Lake who took advantage and really made Champaign work when it came to rebound control and how the Voodoos worked in the high slot area.
Yeah, I mean, the Voodoos just have to do a better job in their own zone. They can't let the other team, the Gold Miners in this case, control the puck that high, low in front of the net, and can't be giving up those kind of rebound chances. In terms of the Gold Miners, aside from allowing the first goal on a road game, you never want to do that, but after that, this is the best road game that you could really draw up, I think.
All right, well, we're going into a break here as we head into the first period intermission. It's 3-1 Kirkland Lake. We will be back for the second period in just a few short minutes. But until then, this has been another edition of NOJHL Hockey here on Flow Hockey, brought to you by Average Joe's. We welcome you back inside the Powassan Sportsplex on a bit of a dreary, rainy day. Not this morning, but this afternoon it was a little bit cloudy, but it doesn't matter because we are inside the rink. No outside hockey for us here as the Voodoos and Kirkland Lake Gold Miners get ready for the second period.
It's a bit of a dreary day inside if you're a Voodoos fan, though.
Yes, it is, as 3-1 right now, Kirkland Lake. But if you're a Gold Miners fan, you're loving it as they come into the building of the hottest team in the Noge with a 9-1-1 record as play gets back underway here for the second period. They are behind in points to Hearst because they played less games. Now here's an early opportunity. The puck does not go in as the net gets knocked off its moorings. As going in hard was Hickey, and the puck ended up past the goal line, but the net was off its moorings. It was immediately waved off. Very interesting start.
That was an odd sequence of events that led to that happening there, but I saw the few of the goal miners went to the ref right away saying, hey, what's the deal? It went in.
I think the net was off before the puck crossed the line, though.
Yeah, and the player ran into the goalie, so there's probably some goalie interference issues. And
I'm sure there's some laws that would take that goal away, but again, Kirkland Lake, a lot of turmoil around them as they relieved their head coach earlier this week, and a lot of question marks around them, but they come in here with a couple of power play goals, a 5-on-5 goal, and they lead 3-1, and they come in here with a vengeance as Anderson looking for the fourth for Kirkland Lake. A little sloppy discipline from Peter Goulet's team tonight as that'll go around for icing, and not doing the greatest job getting the puck out of the slot area as it's led to the 3 goals that Kirkland Lake has scored.
No, and as you mentioned with questions around the team, I was talking to Coach Goulet before the game, and I said, what are you expecting for tonight? He said, well, since this is their first game without their former head coach, you never know what to expect from a team, and truly we've been surprised with.
And there's Harvey off the top slot. It goes off the blocker of Champagne and out over the glass. One of the things that's interesting, too, with the Voodoos is, mentioned on the top of the broadcast, their second straight year where they've gotten a brand new set of goaltenders. Last year it was Seibel and Wilcox.
Yep.
A lot of questions about whether they'd be good. They ended up being the big part of this season. This year, Najo, Champagne, Brugden Hill, thank you. As I got like 2 names mixed up there for a second. But Brugden Hill, both of them, all 3 of those goalies playing very well. Oh, there's a chance. What a save from Rackwell. Unbelievable that he got the pad over and robbed Ryan Saginaw, who's on an 11-game point streak, scored in every single game this year, as here's Saginaw again. That one you will see in those NOJHL highlights you see before the game, I can tell you that. What a save by the Gold Miners netminder. Brian.
Saginaw being from across the border, a lot of times you don't know whether they're coming back or whether they're going to look for something closer to home, but he's definitely one that we're happy to see back. He's quite a skilled and speedy player, and he's a good guy off the ice too, that I think, everyone's happy to have him back up in Powassan.
Yeah, Peter Goulet does a great job of getting the recruitment from down south. We had a number of them. Ryan Patrick, one of those men in recent years who came from Pittsburgh. A couple of them came from over from Pittsburgh, as that's what happens when you have these connections, when you coach all over the place, and the recruitment is there as well. With a burst of speed, up come the Voodoos, as that was Roussel coming across. Now a shot in the high slot, another save from Rackwell up tight to stop Caden Cowell. Puck comes all the way down. Leaners on a race with Roussel. Roussel wins that race. Comes over now out in front in the slot area, not able to get a shot on it. It was Kirkland Lake. Very close. Now a steal in the neutral zone by Powassan. Brownlee. His attempted pass goes off a skate and floats into the Gold Miners zone where they have possession again. Now their pass through the neutral zone goes way too wide. It will be icing as LaMontagne just a step behind.
This period, there's been not great control by either team through the first 2.5 minutes. There's been a lot of passes off legs and off sticks and bouncing around, and both teams, I'm sure, are hoping to settle down and take control of this period and move forward with their agenda.
Voodoos not able to maintain possession in the opposition zone, and it's now in the neutral ice. Controlled here by the Gold Miners, now dumped in off the stick of Harper. He goes into chase, but Powassan is up to the task as they regain possession. Here's DeBox. Reed DeBox able to clear the zone. That's not going to be enough for icing as Allen goes back to play it for Kirkland Lake.
Allen is a great skater as well. He's definitely dangerous whenever he's out there on the ice and gets his hands on the puck.
There's a great passing play. Alexander to Harper, and then trying to get it down there to Alexander, and was not able to get a shot away, was Joshua Underwood. Both teams on the near side at the top of the Voodoo zone. Fighting for possession here as it ends up knocking loose for Alexander into the slot area and poked away by Champagne. Now there's a delayed penalty here behind the play that's going to go against the Voodoos, a slash. And now a couple of things said behind the play as it looks to be Lefebvre that's going to be going off for the Voodoos.
And Allen looks to be in a little pain as he goes to the bench and he throws his glove and is being looked at by the trainer.
So Kirkland
don't see guys getting injured at all, so hopefully that's not much of an injury for him, just more discomfort, but the Gold Miners head to the power play now.
Kirkland Lake, 2 for 2 on the power play tonight. It's been a strength, and they have a chance to make it 4-1 as Allen goes off into he's going to go off with the trainer into the dressing room, so we'll have to keep an eye and see if number 23 comes back onto the ice for White. Harper's going to take this face-off and win it for Kirkland Lake. Rusu at the line. Rusu's shot was the catalyst for the first goal, first power play goal that Kirkland Lake scored. It's now into the corner play by Harper, sent around. And now both teams behind the net, looking for possession. Then it's going to be cleared just out of the reach there as it was cleared there by Owen Head. And now retreating into their own zone with the puck is Daniel Rusu. Here's Rusu in the neutral zone, looking for Fitker, but it goes wide. Head looking to pick it up for Powassan. It's just out of his reach. Puck ends up going back and forth and now finding the stick of Harper, trying to gain into the Voodoo zone with a minute to go on the power play. Lefebvre going off for that slash, and now here's a race for it, short-handed into the corner. And it's going to be picked up there by Pereira. Pereira now holding it against these. There's 3 white jerseys fighting for the puck, and finally Kirkland Lake knocks it free. Here's Williams. Speedy Williams, number 11 for Kirkland Lake, knocks the stick out of Dawson's hand, and he gets into the zone, but then he loses possession right at the blue line, and it's sent back the other way with 40 seconds left to the penalty to Lefebvre.
We have the veterans Russo and Dawson on with the kill for forward for the Voodoos. That was a great shift prior, though, by Pereira, a 16-year-old. You don't see them getting penalty kill time too often, but he's a battalion pick, as he's here, as the Voodoos are the affiliate of the battalion, and he's been a really strong player, and it's good to see him getting some chances on the defensive side doing a penalty kill as well.
Well, Evans brought in the puck offside as Lyons was on the wrong side of the Voodoo zone, so they'll get whistled out and ended up crashing into Dawson as they went sprawling to the ice. But the faceoff comes out outside of Powassan territory, 20 seconds to go in the penalty. 14 and a half to go in the period, still 3-1 Kirkland Lake. As here's Pereira, sends it around the ice. DeBox is able to get it out past the outstretched stick of Evans as it goes all the way into the Gold Miners zone, and Lefebvre's penalty is now over. He goes right to the bench. A quick, no cross ice penalty box here. He's just a quick in and out. And now a chance for Cowell. Cowell comes in, he's got Barkley with him. Cowell shoots in, Rathwell again. Makes a save, but then it's stolen off the stick of Anderson. And the Voodoos have another chance here with possession. Cowell with it on the far side. He gets the puck taken off his stick. but not able to break out as Williams was not able to get on the right side of the pass. Back come the Powassan into Kirkland Lake zone. Puck still loose. Barkley there, not able to get it for Powassan, and it's knocked out of the zone back into the neutral ice. And Cowell just takes that dump attempt, tips it into the zone, and goes off for a change. Now collects on the stick of Parker Evans, a man whose name has been all over the airwaves here tonight as he's touched the puck a number of times. And now a penalty is going to be coming up here to Kirkland Lake. I believe it should be a high sticking call. And the man going to the box will be Nathan Harper.
And it's good to see Jack Allen back out on the ice. Jack Allen, did I get that first name right?
It's Isaiah Allen.
Isaiah Allen, okay.
You were close, but not close at all.
Not even close.
I don't know where you got the name Jack from.
Not even a little bit. I don't know.
You had a bajillion names to go from, and you chose wrong.
Random guess, I guess.
I would have been more impressed if you guessed right, though.
I would be also. But here we are with the Voodoo on a power play.
Well, yes, Isaiah Allen on the ice again, which is good to see as he left with that slash. Now here's a shot from the point. It goes wide. Voodoo's a chance to cut the lead or the deficit to 1. But Kirkland Lake's able to get out of their zone, and Champaign comes out to play it. Leaves it there for Dylan Roussel. Roussel, though, leaves it for his man, and they end up losing it. And now here's a shorthanded opportunity. Another strong press here from Kirkland Lake, and they're trapping the Voodoos in their own zone on the power play. Still with it is Kratz. Kratz gets his pocket pick. There's one in front and a shorthanded goal. It's Jordan Fittker. 4-1, and it doesn't matter if it's on the power play or on the penalty kill. Special teams has been having a special night here in Kirkland Lake. It's 4-1 Gold Miners with, how about Jordan Fittker getting his first of the game.
And that was a great play by Leaners. He's looked great on the penalty kill all night with some really strong forward checking, and he was able to free up the puck there and get it out in front to Fitkers, who had no one covering him at all in front of the net.
I did lie. It was his second of the game. So Fittker is fourth of the season, his second of the game, and now we're getting a goaltending change as Vrugdenhill comes in to relieve Champaign. Not much you can really blame Champaign, though, for any of those goals, as back on the power play, still on the power play, I should say, is the Voodoos, but now they have a 3-goal deficit to overcome. Cowell, he keeps it himself. Cowell now from the top of the slot area, shot stopped by Rackwell. So Fittker's second of the game. I almost got that call 100% right, too. That's the thing that really bugs me. It's no Jake Allen mess up, but, you know.
I have no idea where that even came from.
Maybe Josh Allen? I don't know. Usually do it with Courtney, and he's a big Bills fan.
I'm not even a Bills fan, so that's...
Well, how about Kirkland Lake again stopping the Voodoos power play in their own zone here with their aggressive pressing, as here's Saginaw into the Voodoo zone. Saginaw gets pushed off the puck by Evans. Now it wraps around, and the Voodoos have possession at the point. Cowell sends it to the far side. There's a shot, pass in front through the blue crease, but doesn't find a man. And now Jasoni's pass hits off Leaners, and now it's going to be a race for it between Leaners and Jasoni. Leaners pushes him off the puck. Here's a chance. There's a shot. First save from Vrugdenhill, who has to hold on. And how about more opportunities for Kirkland Lake on the defensive end, as Matthew Newman almost makes it 5-1.
Yeah, that was Leaners again with a great forward check to get up there and challenge Jasoni and come away with the puck. Powassan really has to do a better job of getting out of their own zone when they get control of it. That they got to make that sure play instead of leaving it to chance.
Face-off won by Powassan. They'll try to break out here as the power play expires. Back to 5-on-5. There was a goal on that power play, but not for the team that was expecting it. It was a shorthanded goal by Jordan Fitkers. It's dumped into the Voodoos and Underwood coming in, and he goes in a little hard into the boards after he was pushed there by Devron Brown. Dawson now dumps it into the Gold Miners zone. Powassan, with 10:42 to go in the second period, are looking for an answer here. Kirkland Lake the lone goal in this period so far. Don't want to be going down to the third period down by 3. Yes, the Voodoos are a goal-scoring team, but they're looking to avoid only their second regulation loss of the season. There's Boyce stealing that in the neutral zone. He just dumps it in. Him and Saginaw go after it. It'll be Kirkland Lake who gets there, though. And now the pass through the neutral zone is going to find nobody and going to be touched up by Roussel for an icing.
And as this season I've commonly said when the Voodoos are up that can't count chickens before they hatch because...
What a say. That's a very old saying.
We're in Powassan. I think it's apt. My brother who lives in Powassan has chickens in his backyard.
Anyways, there's a chance for Powassan. There's a shot. Saginaw, but Rackwell gets a piece of it and it goes wide. Another puck in the slot area. Picked up there by Kratz. The lone goal for the Voodoos came early on in the game on the power play. Boyes loses his stick, but he still has possession as he's kicking it around in his skates. Puck comes loose into the slot area, but the only shirt there was a white one as Underwood takes it out. Now here's Kratz who steals it in the neutral zone and comes back. Kratz, he's being harassed there by Rusu. Kratz still with it, tries to kick it out to Saginaw, but Underwood has it. And he was trying to get Alexander the puck, but here's a chance. Cowell the shot. Stopped by Rackwell, who's having a heck of a game between the pipes here as we head into our mid-period break with 9:24 left to go in the period. It is 4-1, Kirkland Lake.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
So not a lot for the home fans to be happy about here as the Gold Miners come into this building, a building that has been very good for the Voodoos this season, and are up 4-1 with about half the game left. Ben, what's your thoughts on the game so far?
I mean, I think Rathwell's been the one of the big stories of this game. He's played really well. He's stopped some really good chances that he's had against him. Leaners, penalty killing skills has been also a major storyline that's really kept and expanded the lead for the Gold Miners.
So play back underway, face-off one. It was in the Kirkland Lake zone, and the Gold Miners have possession. That one goes all the way through, finding nobody, but there's going to be a race for it between Hickey and Giussoni, and Giussoni wins that race. It'll be down for an icing call, but again, Kirkland Lake showing that speed coming down the other way. You can't really take a shift off if you're a defenseman tonight for Powassan.
No, they've taken a few shifts off, and we've seen the Gold Miners make advantage of that, so they definitely cannot be taking any more if they want a chance to.
Shot from the point, and a great chance as Rousseau just tips it wide, but Powassan threatening here, but the pass does not come cleanly to Giussoni, comes out of the zone, and it gets sent back in, and now the Voodoos will try to have to dump and chase to regain possession. Kirkland Lake does not let that happen, though, as they break out of the zone here. Tyson Anderson gets it across the line, but on the wrong side were some of his teammates as it's offside at the Powassan line.
And currently, with 8:49 left in the second period, the score is 4-1 in favor of the Gold Miners. They also lead in shots, 19-17.
We think you're doing the shot. Yeah.
I'm doing the shots while we play, so that's a close approximation of the shots.
It is roughly 19-17. That's got to be a tough one because the goalies are going to blame you if they feel like they've taken more shots. It really messes with their goals against average.
They go back and fix it after. There's another system that does it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're not to blame then.
I mean, I'll take the blame, I guess, anyway. But.
Here's Cowell as Cowell dances around his man. Left in front, and another save from Rathwell. Have yourself a night. Brian Rathwell, who makes his second highlight reel save, another one in tight as the Voodoos try to go cross ice, and he gets down low to deny them.
That's another highlight save against Ryan Saginaw, who's looked great out there, but is just not able to get that little extra bit to get it by Rathwell, who's managed to get across the net both times. Yeah, Rathwell's looked really good tonight.
He has kept Kirkland Lake in the lead here as Owen Head's going to get kicked out of this face-off, I think. They're going to retake it. Yep, Head's going to get kicked out, and now he's going back in, and there's some confusion there, and they're finally going to give it to Barclay, who's going to take the face-off, and now they're going to give it to Landry, and finally the puck gets dropped. I don't know if that was intentional misdirection from Powassan to confuse the Gold Miners. It sure worked on us. Either way, the puck gets dropped, but Kirkland Lake has possession in their own zone. Gets played up into the Powassan zone, but it'll be picked up there by a green sweater and Owen Head. Barclay has it, but he's not able to control, and Dayanov sends it back into the Voodoo's end as Barclay has it. Barclay up the neutral zone into the Gold Miners end. And now comes out in front into the slot area. It's loose. Head tries to put it on net. Goes wide. Now the puck right at the side of the net. Rathwell might have just gotten over in time as he keeps it out. Now Head a shot. And it hits off a body. And innocently then goes over to Rathwell, who hangs on. And now there's a scrum out in front of him as there was a little bit of contact. And whenever there's any sort of contact between a netminder and even if you breathe on a goaltender, it always invites a scrum.
Yeah, Dayanov was not happy with somebody. It was Barclay he was pushing with, but it's not always the person that you're pushing on that you're not happy with. It's just whoever's closest to you, you grab. And
sometimes that's how it goes.
Yep. We hurt the ones closest to us, don't we?
So face off here off to the left-hand side of Rathwell. It's going to be won by Powassan, but it's going to be Kirkland Lake who gets possession as Lions now in a race with Jasoni, and now a bunch of bodies are flying as that's a interesting one. That one goes off the glass, and in a very rare case, into the crowd as we are so close to the action here. There's netting between the crowd and the ice, but this time it finds the perfect area to almost hit a fan, and hopefully the fan's okay.
Hit him. It looked like it hit him in the head, actually. That bounced right through, and
that is unfortunate. Not something you would normally worry about, but hopefully the fan is okay. Might have to get a lottery ticket after that one, though.
Yeah.
As bringing it up for Powassan there was Boys, and he was looking for a man in the slot but couldn't find anybody. Dawson keeps it in, but he fans on the pass, and Williams now over to Hickey. Hickey's all alone. Nobody picked him up. Hickey shot, and Voodoos with the save. Voodoos comes in relief of Champagne, who had a good game, and you can't fault him for any of the 4 goals he gave up. But either way, Peter Goulet wanting to make a change. And his defense really letting Champagne down on that last goal, too. Short-handed. Here's Hickey now. Hickey again. Big hit there from Marcus Kratz. And they score on the rebound. Voodoos gave the puck up. And it's going to be the captain who finds the back of the net for Kirkland Lake. And it's 5-1. As leading the train back is going to be Aaron Lehners, the captain, as it's now 5-1.
Yeah, he's had a really stellar game, and that's the story of today. Is that's another rebound goal, right? You got to do better as defense. Maybe puck control is the thing you want to talk about, or like at rebound control. But as a defenseman, you got to be getting those rebounds out. But that was just an unlucky, a bad change, I guess, with a rush that became odd man quickly. And
now there's going to be a penalty as Lehners was taken down by Caden Cowell, and it goes from bad to worse. Peter Goulet not too happy on the bench there. As right off the face-off, Cowell got tied up with Lehners. Not sure if there was something said, but either way, here's Lamontagne. Lamontagne through, dances through, and almost gets an opportunity. Lehners now has it. He loses it, and now it's going to be finally whistled down, and Cowell's going to go off to the box.
That's one of those things where, as a team, if you're having a great season and everything's trucking along, all of a sudden you hit a game like this where you just aren't catching any breaks and nothing's going your way. Sometimes tempers can flare a little bit.
And going back to that goal, Voodoos looked like he had it in his body, and then we saw that big hit that Marcus Kratz landed, took my attention off of Voodoos, and the next thing I knew, the puck's in the back of the net, so it was one of those plays that a little bit of misdirection, maybe not a good thing for Kratz, but either way, it's still 5-1, and now on the power play, already 2 power play goals and a shorthanded goal for Kirkland Lake. They're looking for more. 5:35 to go in this period, and Powassan's going to need a hope and prayer now if they want to get back into it, and they're going to have to get something in this period if they want to have a chance with the way that Rathwell's playing. Here's Allen bringing it across the line. Allen. Isaiah Allen, to be precise, as I'm not going to let you live that one down.
Not Jack.
Not Jack Allen. As Kirkland Lake still has possession here in the Voodoos' end, and now it's finally cleared away, and it's going to be Isaiah Allen going down to get it again. Dianov leaves it for Allen, and then here's a good pass from Harper as he was looking to set him free on a bit of a mini breakaway. Fittger also out there. He's on 2 goals. He'd love to get a little hat trick here as well. As now it's going to be dumped in. Rathwell will have it. He'll have to hang on as pinching in there was number 12, Jax Pereira. And it's kind of interesting coming into this game. We talked how good the goaltending for the Voodoos has been.
Yep.
Champagne's been pulled. Rugenhill gives up a goal he'd love to have back. And on the other side, Brian Rathwell comes into this game with a .418 goals against average, .867 save percentage, and he is having himself a night tonight.
Yeah, he's really been spectacular. Made some really big saves and just been overall steady.
23 seconds left to go in Cowell's penalty to Cowell for roughing. But in comes a shot from Harper, and it goes wide, glove side. 3 of the 5 goals for Kirkland Lake coming on the man advantage. Now another opportunity. It goes past Rugenhill, but misses the net. That close to 6-1. Power play now over. 5-on-5. A shot right in the dying seconds. The puck is loose in the slot area. Still loose. And it goes in. 6-1. And it looks like it's Leaners who's going to get the goal again. The puck was loose for a very long time in the slot area again. Not cleared by Powassan. And it's the captain, Aaron Leaners, his second of the game, makes it 6-1 now for the Gold Miners.
Yeah, he's really had a standout game himself as well. That's his second goal. I think he has 2 assists prior. I don't have that in front of me right now, but either way, he's been standing out great on the penalty kill, great offensively.
He had 1 assist prior. Let's see if the scoring has been updated here on game day. As here's a Voodoos now down 6-1. It's going to be a very interesting, love to be a fly on the wall in that second period intermission. Peter Goulet must not be a happy man at this point. 3:28 to go in the period. Powassan looking to get one back. There's a shot, another save from Rathwell. Leaners 1 assist on the game so far. 2 goals, 1 assist, so 3 points for the Kirkland Lake forward. A even strength goal, though it happened in the dying periods. Now another giveaway. Here's Harper. Getting it over there for Dianov. Dianov sends it out in front, but nobody there to get it, and Powassan's able to get it out, but it's going to be too hot. Evans is going to touch it up, and it's going to be an icing call against Powassan. And at this point, if you're Powassan, you're maybe hoping to make it 6-2 going into the break, but what do you have to do in this third period to even have a chance to come back, especially considering how good of a game Rathwell's had?
I mean, they got to have a perfect game, right? They got to do better at controlling the puck. They got to do better at getting shots at the net, and they got to do a better job of getting in front of Rathwell and getting rebounds.
I'll never say never because we've seen what this team can do. But it's tough when you come off a huge, huge win against a big rival like Hearst in dramatic fashion in overtime. You get off to a good start. You get up 1-0 early in the first 5 minutes of the game and then give up 6 unanswered goals to a team that, by all rights, you should be beating with the way that the Voodoos have played this year. And a team for Kirkland Lake who comes in 4-5-0-2 on the year. But this will be a big, big win here for Kirkland Lake if they hold on. 2.5 to go, 6-1 lead for the Gold Miners. Puck comes down, it goes off the stick there of Head, but it will be an icing call as Head was on the wrong side of the red line.
And as you were talking about there, it's one of those things where with the gold miners, having just had a coaching change, sometimes just a little change like that could change up the chemistry. Players grip their sticks maybe a little less tightly because, well, not a loss can be expected of us today, so we're just going to go out there and play what we can play, and you come away with a result like this.
Face-off won by Powassan in their own zone. And it'll be a very interesting third period. Either we're going to see a dramatic comeback from Powassan, or there's going to be even more piling on happening from the gold miners as Mentari gets it over for Fitker. Fitker looking for the hat trick, and his shot gets blocked. Kratz gets it out over to Cowell. And a very non-20, 25, 26 game for the Voodoos. A lot of undisciplined play here. A lot of sloppy play in front of their own net. Here comes Powassan though on the attack. There's a shot in Rackwell. You've heard me say it many times tonight. He makes the save and holds on.
Yeah, and you said it's very untypical of the Voodoos for this year that they have a very powerful offense. So to be getting out offense to this degree is an oddity for this season. But, you know, there's outlier games all the time.
No, absolutely, as you said. But just to put this into perspective, both these goaltenders come in with saves percentages above .920, and goals against averages, the highest between the two goaltenders is Vrugdenhill with .264. Now here's a chance. Rebound, Ryan Saginaw continues the point streak. 12 games now. Rebound, and they finally beat Rackwell. And it's 6-2 Powassan, and exactly what they need with a $1:23 on the clock. And we are not done yet. There might be a comeback here for this Powassan team. A lot of work to go, but that's a move in the right direction.
That is definitely the right first step they need, is to come back. If they could pop another one in and head into the final period only down by 3 instead of 4, that would be a huge second step in the right direction.
They still have time for maybe one more. Something we have not seen from Powassan tonight was how they scored that goal. And Saginaw right there on the doorstep to put it in an empty cage. Nothing Rackwell could have done that time, though he's made a couple of nice cross-ice saves earlier in the game. Now here's Lefebvre. Or check that's Rousseau. Puts it back out in front. It's going to wrap around the boards and go out of the zone, and Gisoni's going to have to go all the way back as Vrugdenhill comes to play it behind his net. Gisoni behind his own net here, 50 seconds to go. Powassan would love to get one more to keep the momentum up, but they also don't want to give one away as it's intercepted in their own zone, and Harper has it. But now it's brought up by the captain. Here's Rousseau, but boys on the wrong side of the blue line. It's going to be called for offside with 35.5 seconds on the clock.
It's one of those things where, as you said, they want to get another goal back in here, but they can't take another goal behind, so you got to be careful that you're making the smart play while you're taking your chances.
Shots 24-24, we think, so
roughly,
far here.
Somewhere in that range.
As my partner here doing the shots on target, so we'll have to compare it to game day afterwards. Now both teams pushing and shoving in the near corner, trying to play the puck with 20 seconds to go. It comes down to the Voodoo zone, and Vrugdenhill will have it, and now we're going to have a penalty, a head contact penalty. And a lot of comments here as it's going to be Caden Cowell. His second time this period he goes off. Not something you want to see from the veteran. And now there's going to be a bench minor, I think, against.
I'm not sure who that was being called against. Oh, looks.
We'll see. There was definitely, it looked like unsportsmanlike conduct coming from the. There was a point to the Kirkland Lake bench.
Yeah.
But nobody in the box. It looked like somebody was going to go over there, but.
I'm not quite sure what that call was. I know the original call was head contact, and there's a 2 minutes on the board. Cowell left the ice surface, so he might have got the unsportsmanlike as well. I couldn't see. It looked like it was going towards Kirkland Lake, though, as you mentioned.
We'll have to wait for the official scoring there. Might have to get an update in the third period or at the start of the third period as we have 16 seconds left here. Either way, a power play opportunity here for Kirkland Lake. mentioned 3 of their goals coming on the man advantage. Their last goal coming in the dying, just after the dying seconds of their last power play, with Wieners getting a second. Now there's 3 seconds left. One last gasp, but the buzzer is going to go. What a period. We came in 3-1, and this period also 3-1 in favor of the Gold Miners for a total of 6-2. And when we look at that, Saginaw, a huge goal. Finally, after 6 unanswered goals, the Voodoos get back on the board. But then as soon as they get momentum, Cowell kind of takes it out of them a little bit, taking that head contact penalty. And we'll have to see if there was an unsportsmanlike or a misconduct happening after that. Either way, it looked like a good ending. However, it might be a little bit difficult here for the Voodoos to get back. They need 4 goals in 20 minutes.
And from my point of view, that didn't look like a head contact hit. I did see the head snap back a little bit, but it looked like it was shoulder into chest. So we'll have to see what was called with that.
So we'll have an update when we go into the third period. It is currently 6-2 Kirkland Lake. There will be a $1.44 on the man advantage for the Gold Miners when we come back. But we will take a short break, and on the other side will be the third and potentially final period, unless there is a big comeback from the Voodoos, which would be an exciting way to end this game. But you are watching Voodoos Hockey here on Flow Hockey, brought to you by Average Joe's. Welcome back inside the Powassan Sportsplex, as it has been a game, one of the hockey games of all time, as if you're a Powassan Voodoo fan, maybe not the happiest of times as you find yourself down 6-2. If you are a Kirkland Lake fan, you are elated to come into the building of the team that is 9-1-1 and be winning at the margin that they have. So just to quickly look at the penalties that happened at the end of the period, Caden Cowell goes off for head contact. It's being served by Ryan Saginaw. We do not know yet if Cowell got a misconduct because of that, because it's being served by somebody else. But we'll have to keep an eye on number 22 for Powassan to see, number one, if he comes out for the period and if he finds his way on the bench or ice. So we'll just have to keep an eye out for that. But Ryan Saginaw is, according to the official scoring, serving the penalty. The other thing is Isaiah Allen at the exact 20-minute mark, so at the very end of that period, gets an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. However, there is nothing up on the board there, so I'm not sure if there's maybe some offsetting stuff that's happening.
With a misconduct, it's just a 10-minute penalty. You aren't actually down a man.
Oh, there you go.
So that's why he's in the box where I don't recall if he was at the end of the period or just went to the dressing room.
I can't remember. It did say the word misconduct. I should have read more.
Yeah.
It's been a long day. So you don't have to worry too much about Isaiah Allen.
Yeah.
Your favorite player on the ice for Kirkland Lake. Ben Surgeon alongside with me. Ben Long. Ben Squared here this evening as the Kirkland Lake found themselves scoring 6 unanswered goals in this game after Marcus Kratz opened up the scoring. We do see Cowell back on the ice, so he is in the bench there to serve with Saginaw. So we'll have to see. Maybe he got a misconduct on top of that. We'll have to keep an eye on number 22, who's going to be in the box. As I was mentioning, though, Kirkland Lake, 6 unanswered goals after Marcus Kratz opener, and then it was Ryan Saginaw, who's currently serving this penalty for Cowell, who extended his point streak to 12 games now. And how about that? A point in every single game played this year for the Voodoos to make it 6-2. But we'll have to see. It's still a $142 on the power play here for Kirkland Lake to open up the period. Powassan needs to find 4 past Brian Rackwell, which has not been an easy task to get 2 by him, as he has shut the door. But here's a chance, shorthanded Russo. He's got 4 white shirts all around him, and he ends up losing it to Williams, who will now pick it up and start the rush out. Trying to catch the Voodoos napping a little bit here on the penalty kill to start off the period, but Kratz makes a nice play. Kratz is able to keep possession now. He loses it, but it goes back for Roussel, who now holds it up against the boards behind his own net. The Voodoos will be back in action here on Friday evening, their next game against the Greater Sudbury Cubs, a game that's always one to watch out for between these two teams. Hearst, Timmins, and Greater Sudbury. Those are the 3 teams that you love to watch when they come into this building. And they already got a win against Sudbury at the Showcase, which was huge for them. They're going to try to do it here on home ice, 7 o'clock on Friday. Then they're here again Saturday evening as French River comes to town before going on the road next Friday against the Sioux to go on a nice little western road trip. Here's Rusu, still on the power play, 20 seconds to go. Here's a shot from the point, and it goes high and wide past Vrugdenhill. Came in relief of Champagne earlier in this game after he gave up that 4th goal, though, to be fair to Champagne, none of those goals really were his fault, as it was more his defense not helping him. Vrugdenhill would love to have that 1st goal back, but the 2nd goal he gave up was another one where his team failed to clear it in front of his net. And I'm sure that Peter Goulet, who just won his 100th game last night, in that overtime win against Hearst, had a couple of choice words for his team after the 40-minute mark, as I'm sure he could not be happy with the discipline and play that his team has played today. A game more reminiscent, as this goes for icing, a little bit more reminiscent of years past, and not the year we've seen this year, where the Voodoos have been very consistent and have played at a very high clip.
Yeah, they've been very steady all year, barring this game. With that said, they've got shots on net. They've just had a few major breakdowns that the Gold Miners capitalized on.
This one's going to go all the way down, but not for icing, as Rathwell has to play it in his own crease. Back to 5-on-5. 17:47 left to go in this game. Voodoos need to find 4 goals, so you'd have to think they need to find at least 1 or 2 before the halfway mark if they want to flirt with a chance of getting back into this. Puck on the near side, kept in here by Kirkland Lake, but Powassan picks it up behind their own net. Able to get the puck up to Brownlee now, but the puck is caught in his skates, but Jasoni will get it out, then he'll flip it up, but it'll be an icing call as it's on the wrong side of the red line. And the Voodoos, you can see, again, being very suppressed in their own zone from a really aggressive forecheck here from the Gold Miners.
Yeah, the Gold Miners have been forechecking very strongly, led by Leaners, their captain, and it's been gone right down the lineup.
Face-off won by the Voodoos. I think that was kind of more of a tie, if anything, but Jasoni now breaks away with it. Now he'll flip it on, but he's on the right side of the red line, and finally the Voodoos can change as they get fresh legs on the ice. There's a pass looking to get it to Harper, who would have been in all alone, but here's Rousseau the other way, the captain. Leaves it for Boys. Boys dances around his man. Boys scores! Anthony Boys! The Trapper connection. 6-3, and just like I said, they're going to need a couple before the middle part of this period, and they do just that, Anthony Boys. What a goal! His 7th of the season, and the Voodoos are within 3.
As you mentioned, they need to be keep making steps back, and that's a good step along the way. That was a great play by Boys in there to make a little nifty move with the puck and roof it to get one closer to being even again.
He goes over the blocker of Brian Rackwell as that puck ends up going into the Voodoos bench for a whistle. And now they're only 3 away from this, and we've seen, again, when you look at the goal scoring, there are a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players for the Voodoos that come into this game with double digits in points. Caden Cowell leading the charge with 23 coming into this game. 17 of those assists. Ryan Saginaw, as we mentioned, 12-game point streak, a point in every single game this season. He was the only man that wasn't a Trapper early in the season, about 5 games in, that had a goal, and he had a hat trick worth of goals at that point. Now with another one here tonight, now has 8. Here's Marcus Gratz. Gratz sends it up here, looking for Landry, but Landry loses it right at the Kirkland Lake zone, and now bodies flying everywhere, and the puck comes out to Roussel. Roussel carries it in himself. Roussel makes a nice move. Roussel with a shot, and Rackwell a big save. And now there's going to be some pushing and shoving after as Landry gets sent to the ice. And not too happy there is Ryland Harvey, who was saying, hey, I'm defending my goaltender, as Rackwell was down on the ice. He got a body into him, and it looks like going off will be Lamontagne, actually. Oh, no, sorry, he's going to the bench. It's Harvey who's going off, as we thought. So a power play opportunity here for the Voodoos, with Cowell and Allen still in the box serving their misconducts.
And that was a great play by Landry to go to the net and stay at the net instead of just flying by, as players tend to do sometimes. And it drew the reaction from Harvey that puts them now on the man advantage.
And all of a sudden, the ice is starting to tilt to the home side. 6-3, already a goal here by Anthony Boys. What a way to get back into this game if they can score on this power play. 16 minutes left in the hockey game. They need 3 more goals to tie. Roussel has it at the point. Roussel over to his partner there, and Kratz down low. Puck is loose, and Rackwell has it, but the puck comes out. Now trying to get back into the slot area, but it's whistled down very quickly by the referee. But that's what you want to see from the Voodoos. Good puck movement and getting it into the high danger areas in the slot.
I'm not sure why that play was whistled down, as the puck was entirely loose. Well, it looks like Rathwell may have lost his glove. He seems to have his equipment and got a face-off to his Trapper side. With 1 minute and 44 seconds, it sort of looks like.
Well, you could have just done the math off the clock, but
I don't remember what time the penalty was at.
It's going to get whistled down very quickly here as the puck ends up going out of play. So just so you know, it started with 16 minutes left on the clock.
Oh, okay.
And now we can subtract it. There's 15:32 left, 15:38 left on the clock. So I'm no mathematician. I think that's 22 seconds.
Attention to detail.
Here's Kratz with it right off the faceoff. Kratz dances around. Kratz looking in front. Can't get a shot. Now a shot from Dawson. off a stick of the Kirkland Lake player and wide. Roussel now a shot, and Rackwell gets a blocker on it. Back to the Powassan blue line. Now down deep to the captain, Rousseau. Squeezes out for Roussel at the blue line. He gets it around to Kratz, makes a nice move around. Kratz from the top of the circle, his shot is blocked. Puck is loose, it's right there. And no green player was there to tap it home. So close here. Whatever Peter Goulet said during that second intermission seems to have worked, as here coming across the line there was Barkley. Dawson trying to put it out in front to Rousseau, but it hit off a skate. Rousseau leaves it. Now Roussel has it at the point. Over to Kratz. Kratz shot goes wide. Puck still behind the net, and it's going to wrap around and go out. Now I have to do math. 40 seconds or so left in the power play because of the Zamboni door support beams are in the way. Now here's an opportunity again for Powassan on the power play. The puck's right there, and it goes wide behind the net. Another opportunity as Vrugden-Hill comes out to play it, and he will leave it for Pereira, who elects to leave it for his defenseman. Now here's Anthony Boyes, the goal scorer of this period. He got the third goal for the Voodoos. Here's Jasoni. Jasoni brings it across the blue line, still with it, trying to get it over to Boyes. His pass a little too hot, but it does bounce off the boards back to him. It goes over to Saginaw, who sends it back to Boyes. Saginaw trying to keep it in, he can't, and now here's Leaners. He's on 2 goals, he's looking for the hat trick. Vrugden-Hill is safe, big rebound. Lamontagne on the doorstep, but he couldn't get the shot away. Now his shot is tipped up and over and off the glass. Power play now expired, we're back to 5-on-5. 13:35 to go. Dancing through, another nice play by Pereira, but he couldn't get a shot away. The Battalion prospect looking to get the Voodoos within 2. And you got to think the Voodoos want at least one more before the halfway mark of this period. They've got 3:21 to do that. But a big giveaway in their own zone. There's a shot from Hickey. And a bad giveaway at the blue line almost led to Kirkland Lake getting the lead back to 4 goals. There's a shot from the point, it's tipped. Puck still loose, and Russo is on the doorstep, but he couldn't pull the trigger. Now Kirkland Lake coming out with speed. They've got even amount of numbers to the defenders of the Voodoos, but they end up losing possession, and now in the neutral zone, the puck is looking for somebody to take control of it, and finally comes out to a green stick as Brown plays it. And the box will play it into the zone. It goes into Rathwell, who will have to hang on as Dawson was right there looking for the rebound.
Yeah, Rousseau was hauled down with a stick there at one point in that play, and I thought for sure a penalty was going to be coming, but that's part of that neutral zone play where puck's just been bouncing around and players have been going all over the place, and face off in the gold miner zone.
Now right off the draw, Dawson, his shot, it gets blocked. Or check that, that was Saginaw. Sometimes it's hard to see the 0s and 9s occasionally. As here's Harper with it in the Powassan zone. Harper, Roussel was right on him as well, and he forces a turnover as Landry gets it up for Saginaw. Saginaw with Landry, leaves it chest on side to Kratz. Now out in front, the puck at the side of the net, picked up by Kirkland Lake. Kirkland Lake now breaks out of the zone. Here's Dayanov, he's got a man with him, Dayanov, sends it over from Intari, shot stop, big rebound off Vrugden-Hill. But going a little bit past it was number 88 in white. Now the other way, Roussel. Roussel looking for in front, the puck's right there, it's loose. And the shot ends up going wide. Now another puck out in front, no green jersey was there to smack it home again. The puck has gotten into some good areas, but there hasn't been any Voodoo players there who could get it into the back of the net. Into the neutral zone, Pereira sends it in, it's a dump and chase. Puck now on the near side boards, it gets wrapped around and into the Kirkland Lake possession. And now on the far side, again on the boards, comes out to the point, Voodoos with it. There's a shot, and it's blocked off the stick there of Anderson. It's still kept in though, and there's another shot, a little weak that goes wide. Voodoos still with possession, now to the point, another shot. Another save from Rathwell, and again, it comes out there to Barkley, who can't get a shot away. Jasoni now a shot, that one's tipped wide. Voodoos putting on pressure here with 10:52 to go. They need 3 goals here to tie things up. And they're not letting Kirkland Lake come out of this building with a win that easily, as here's Cullen, Jackson Cullen, the former U18 Trappers captain. Gets a shot on, nobody there for the rebound. Cullen has it again at the point. His shot now is going to be tipped and way off as it hits off the offices, I guess you could call it, of the Sportsplex that sits above the visiting net. And it's 10:32 to go, still 6-3.
Yeah, this period we're seeing a little more of what we're used to seeing out of the Voodoos, where they're actually forcing the gold miners to play in their own end and causing turnovers and getting chances towards the net.
Face-off won by Powassan, shot from the box. And it goes right into the body of Rackwell, who will hang on for another face-off off to his right.
And I'm sure this is exactly the game that they wanted to be playing all along. Better late than never, but we'll find out shortly if it's too little too late as we're approaching the halfway point.
Yeah, if they played this game at the start of the game, they'd probably be leading at this point. But as you said, when you give up 6 goals, you're down 6-1. It's a big hole to dig out of. But here's Russo now as he blocked the clearing attempt. Boys back to the point, the box shot. Stopped by Rackwell as it goes into the corner. Now back to the point, Brown with it. Brown sends it around the net. Russo now leaves it. Comes back to the point, to the box. Shoots! Rackwell, another save. It goes into the corner again. Dawson fires it behind the net. Russo with it, the captain. Russo still has it. Then he loses it as both Kirkland Lake players were actually covering it against each other. And it comes out, and now it finds a white jersey and breaks out as Williams here. Williams, he's got Hickey with him. Hickey shoots. Rugenhill the save. Another big rebound. Right on the doorsteps, Williams. Another save from Rugenhill and another one. He's made the saves, but he's also given up a couple of rebounds and some not so great spots. And now Williams comes right around. He wraps around and another save from Rugenhill. Rugenhill now keeping his team in this game. Evans. Now another shot. This one goes wide. And it's going to get out of the zone as Pereira now playing it. Pereira trying to get around his man, Harvey. He felt like he got taken down, but no penalty there as it's going to be shot, and it was going wide, but Rackwell decides to glove it down, and we're going to our mid-period break, 9 minutes to go. The Voodoos need 3 as Kirkland Lake leads 6-3.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
So there's 9 minutes left in regulation, and the Kirkland Lake finds themselves up 3. A much better period, as we were saying, Ben, in this third period. But again, as you mentioned, too little, too late.
It could be. 3 goals in 10 minutes isn't unheard of in this league, and with the firepower that the Voodoos have, it's certainly within the realm of possibility. But it's going to take a lot, and to wreck that, not 10 minutes, it's 9 minutes they have left. But I'm sure they'll come out firing with everything they have for these last 9 minutes.
Out of the penalty box comes Isaiah Allen. No longer serving that misconduct, but Caden Cowell still in the penalty box for the Voodoos. One of their leading goal point getter, but Caleb Dawson is still their leading goal scorer with 9 on the season. Saginaw, though, flirting up there, only a couple goals away. In fact, only 1 goal away as he scored his 8th here this evening. As we're back in action here, puck is in the Powassan zone behind the net. It gets wrapped around there looking for Landry. Landry now gets it up as they break out. Roussel shoots from a sharp angle, and Rockwell has to make sure he's got that.
That looks slightly uncomfortable for Rathwell. I'm not sure if it was just he wasn't expecting a shot from the angle, but he did manage to glove it down and hold on to it. But it did look like a bit of an uncomfortable save that he had to make. We have a face-off now here. to his blocker side.
Thanks you for your support.
We have another shot from the point from Brown. That Rathwell gobbled up and held on to. We have a face-off to his glove hand side this time. We have Russo in for the Voodoos.
So shot from the point is blocked. Here's Jasoni. He passes it sharp along. There's a shot that's stopped. Puck is right there, and again, can't knock it in. Powassan getting so close, but close does not count in this game. Puck just hitting off the very tip top of the glass and staying in play. Now it gets wrapped outside of the zone. It's going to be a foot race here between Leaners and Jasoni, and Leaners kind of wins that race as he ties up Jasoni, but Brown was there to help, and he starts the breakout here for the Voodoos. Cowell now fresh out of that penalty box after serving that penalty, and his pass to Brown went through his legs, and Leaners comes out the other way. Leaners is going to try to get it into the Voodoo zone, but he was being tied up there by Jasoni. Now here's Pereira. Cowell stays on side. Pereira shot off the body there of Harvey. Now the puck's still loose in the slot area. It's going to come out here to a Kirkland Lake player as they get it out of the zone. And not able to stay on side as Pereira's. Cowell was late coming out of the zone. 7:08 to go as the clock continues.
Yeah, Cowell got tied up and knocked down, so he was late leaving the zone, and Pereira must not have seen that his teammate was just a little trapped ahead, but is only one step away from getting back in time.
7 minutes to go. Here's Williams, and Williams is going to be offside as Lyons was on the wrong side of the ice.
We have a face-off here outside the Voodoo zone with just under 7 minutes left. Roughly 38 to 29 shots in favor of the Voodoos now. They win the draw and start to aim their way back up the ice. Roussel crosses the red line.
Here's Roussel as he gets it out in front. Kratz! Shot goes wide, glove side. Brownlee, his shot goes up and over the glove side as well of Rackwell. Puck loose there. It's picked up by Mintari. But it stays in the Gold Miners zone. The Gold Miners are fighting for this win here as that lead that they got in the first 40 minutes is really coming in handy. Here's Kratz. Kratz makes a nice move, makes another nice move, and Rackwell another big save. Kratz dances around two defenders, gets a tight shot, but it goes into the glove arm of Rackwell, who will hang on and keep it a 3-goal lead.
And that is lots of pushing and shoving, as you expect to see, where the Voodoos, desperate to try and claw back, are going hard to the net, and the Gold Miners, desperate to hold on to this lead, are not too impressed by opponents crashing their goalie. The Gold Miners win the draw in their own zone, start to try and make it out, but the Voodoos interrupt their exit.
So here's Dawson. Dawson over. There's Rousseau, I should say, and that was another save from Rackwell as he gets over to cover the bottom half of the net with 5:57.
Yeah, he's really had a phenomenal game so far. If my count is anywhere near correct, he's around 40 shots on with 3 goals against, and some have been really great chances that the Voodoos have had.
They ended the period 24-24 in shots. It's now 40-29, according to Ben's count here of the shots as he's taken the shot counter here. So at least it helps Rathwell's save percentage quite a bit.
Yep.
As they have really turned it on, almost doubled their shot count, probably will exceed that by the end of this period. There's a shot. Jasoni's shot goes wide. As here's Lamontagne, but he's not able to get in the zone. Rousseau not able to get it deep into the Kirkland Lake zone, and it kind of goes back and forth in neutral zone, but Rousseau picks it up. Dawson to Brown, back to Dawson. Dawson's shot goes off a stick. And then Brown keeps it in the zone. Dumps it in deep. Boys picks it up. Boys wins the battle, but then loses the war as he lost it to Anderson. LaMontagne gets it out of the Gold Miners zone. They go off for a change. Roussel brings it in for Powassan. Roussel shoots, and it goes off a body in front there, as getting down was Parker Evans. And finally it's taken out, and Vrugdenhill comes out to play it. He's going to try to make a pass all the way to the blue line of Kirkland Lake to Pereira, but it got intercepted. Allen now sends it on down deep into the Voodoo zone. Vrugdenhill comes out to play it, looking for Saginaw. And now Saginaw's tied up on the near side boards, and he can't close it. Now here's a shot from the point into the glove of Vrugdenhill, who will hold on with 4:21 to go. And as the clock ticks down, it looks less and less likely we're going to get anything extra in terms of gameplay or a Voodoo's win.
Yeah, with 4:21 left, 3 goals is a bit of a stretch. Again, it's not impossible, but with the way Rathwell's played, that's going to be a tall task.
He has played well. The Voodoos have finally turned on their game after having a good first 5 minutes of the game. Did not play well for the next 35 minutes, and now in the last 20, they've really turned on the Jets, but not enough time left on the clock, but a chance, and just wide off the stick of Barkley. And a lot of near missed chances here as well for the Voodoos. Landry trying to get it out in front. Barkley back to DeBox. DeBox trying to get in deep, but he's fighting with Hickey, and now there's a whole scrum of players there on the far side boards. And now it comes out, there's a shot, blocked, another shot, and it ends up getting blocked as well as Barkley again. Cullen now. Cullen elects to shoot now at the top of the circle, and Rackwell hangs on. 3:16 left to go.
And Rathwell looked like he pulled a groin or some sort of lower body injury there when he was stretching out to make a play earlier, that he was struggling there for the last little bit. When he got that save and was able to hold on to it. It looks like he's going to try and stay in the game, but the trainer is on the ice but not making his way towards the net.
Well, the backup goaltender is Thomas Naja.
Yeah, of the Powassan Voodoos, dressed for
yes, he is.
the Gold Miners tonight. So,
but Rackwell is okay with 3:16 to go. They need to kill off. The question we're going to see too, as I was just about to say, are we going to see a pulled net? Indeed, Vrugdenhill is out of his net. 6 men on the ice now for the Voodoos. And now a chance in front. It's still loose. Boys there. Dawson there. Cowell there. None of them can get it in as Cowell's shot goes wide. Cowell in front for Dawson, and it gets blocked. Boys again. Dawson right there. Dawson's shot goes off Rackwell. Behind the net now, Cowell fighting for it. Well, the Voodoos are showing heart, that's for sure, but it only came in the last 20 minutes of the period. 20 minutes of the game, I should say. Roussel's shot. Stop, another run, a save from Rackwell again. And it comes out again to the point. Oh my goodness. Brian Rackwell, have yourself a night. Again, another shot, and they finally score. Anthony Boys, number 2 on the night. And not much more Rackwell can do, but the consolation is this. It's still 6-4 Kirkland Lake, but the Voodoos inching ever closer to tying this game. They've got 2.5 minutes left.
And Anthony Boyce, that's his 8th goal of the season. He got off to a really hot start, and he's doing quite well for himself this year. Now with 2.5 minutes left, it looks like the Voodoos are going to call their timeout.
Might have been Kirkland Lake, I think. Either way, as you said, timeout taken here. So Anthony Boyce, a guy who I don't want to say, like, whenever anybody comes up to this league, they do take a while to find their feet. They do struggle a little bit to find scoring. Anthony Boyce was one of those guys who did so well as a trapper, came up here, didn't find his scoring touch right away. It took him a year or two to really find it, and this year he's finally finding the back of the net. That's got to feel really good. Obviously, he's older, he's getting more minutes, but overall, you got to be really impressed if you're Peter Goulet with how Boyce has been doing this season.
Yeah, he's really, I mean, you could tell with the promotion that he's got to playing with Russo and Dawson, that's That's typically known as the first line for this Voodoos team. So for him to get put up on that line and getting trusted with that, that's always a big thing.
Face-off won by Powassan. They've got 2.5 minutes here. Vrugden Hill's probably going to leave his ice. There was an extra attacker for that. Dawson brings it into the zone. Vrugden Hill goes off for the extra man. So a net empty here for Powassan. And now there's going to be something happening as it's going to go back to center ice.
I don't know why.
Unless the only thing I can think of is they're calling too many men when Vrugden Hill went off, but
I'm not sure. Might have.
But I don't know the explanation for that unless maybe there was an offside or something that was missed. But the faceoff goes back to the center dot. Vrugden Hill goes back in net. 2:18 now left to go. Either way, it killed off about 10 seconds for the gold miners, but here's Dawson. There goes Vrugden Hill. Dawson shot. The puck is right there. It's loose again, and Kratz couldn't take the shot. Cowell coming in as the extra attacker. Cowell in front. It goes off a skate. Back into the corner. Kirkland Lake desperately trying to get it out. Less than 2 to go. Roussel has it at the point. It comes over. Dancing around is Kratz. He can't get it into the slot area. Behind the net, Dawson now in front. But it's going to come out to Kirkland Lake, who has a wide open look at the net, but the pass that was intended for Newman was a little bit out of his reach. And Kratz comes out and makes a good defensive play. Kirkland Lake just want to put it into the empty net, but it's going to get whistled down into the Voodoo zone with $1:30 left. And, you know, coming into this period at 6-2, I was not expecting to have this exciting of a third period, but the Voodoos have delivered.
No, I didn't think we were going to get really that close back, but the Voodoos have, in fact, made this an exciting game. And again, with 1.5 minutes left to score 2 goals, we've seen stranger things.
Yeah, it's available on Netflix. Isn't the new season coming out?
Play some Metallica music. Or
I couldn't resist. It's one of those nights where...
Oh, looks like someone's getting an unsportsmanlike. I didn't see who that was, but...
It might have been coming from maybe the bench of the gold miners. Fittker right off the draw takes a shot that hits off a body in front. And now it's Kirkland Lake who has possession in their own zone, so we'll have to keep an eye on Vrugden Hill again. This one is going to go way into the Powassan bench and going to go back into the Kirkland Lake zone, which will allow Vrugden Hill to go off and 6 men for the Voodoos to come on. Well, not 6 men, 1 man.
One extra man.
Yeah, you don't want the whole bench out there. But yeah, there'll be 6 total men out there.
When your goalie goes off, you can add 6 men to the ice?
I don't think that's how math works. As Pereira was the one taking it, he loses the draw. Kirkland Lake now clears it out of the zone, and 1:08 to go. Kratz has it in his own zone, though. As they just cleared it out, they did not have a chance for the empty net. But Kratz still with it. Kratz going all the way through, goes out in front and can't get a shot away. Now Roussel from the point goes wide. The clock's ticking down, 50 seconds to go. Voodoos need to find 2. Kirkland Lake just needs to stop Powassan. And it looks like they might do it. It's going to take a prayer now with 40 seconds to go to score 2 goals. But here's Head, and Head misplays it. Can't get it across the line. Head now. Head still with it. Trying to get it out in front, but now there's 25 seconds left to go. And now it's cleared out of the zone. And that will come down for icing. But with 23 seconds to go and with 2 goals needed, this might just wrap things up. Never say never, but it's getting to that point.
Yeah, they're not going to stop pushing, but that's a lot to do if, you know, get a quick one right off the draw and then another one right off the face-off there is certainly a theoretical possibility, but not an expected outcome by any means.
23.5 seconds to go. Face-off with Powassan with possession. They've got to get a shot off here quickly. 15 seconds to go. The shot's blocked. And it will be Kirkland Lake who puts it into the empty net. Jordan Fittker completes the hat trick. 2 goals and an empty netter. And that will do it as 7-4 will be your final. Kirkland Lake. How about that? They're going to want to get that puck back as Isaiah Allen comes out to grab it to commemorate the hat trick there. And comes into this game, the Voodoos, a fantastic goaltending season for them. Kirkland Lake, not a big goal-scoring season, and they find themselves 6 goals plus an empty net, so 7 total goals, and a great performance from the man in net, Brian Rackwell, who probably saved about 3 or 4 goals that should have been in as the seconds wind down, and that will do it. The Voodoos suffer only their second regulation loss of the season as they fall 7-4 to the Kirkland Lake Gold Miners on home ice. They will be back in action on Friday, and a big win for Kirkland Lake as they lose their coach, and they are able to come away with a statement victory for the Voodoos. It'll be going back to the drawing board before they welcome in the Greater Sudbury Cubs into this building Friday evening, which will be the next broadcast that you can catch here on Flow Hockey of Voodoos Hockey. Ben, what did you see as we wrap things up here at the Sportsplex?
I mean, that was a valiant third period effort by the Voodoos to try and come back, but you know, if you take 2 periods off and only play 1, you're certainly not going to get the result that you want, and I think that's a little bit of what we saw here tonight.
All right, well, Kirkland Lake wins 7-4. They get outshot 47-31, but it doesn't matter how many shots you put on net. It only matters which ones go across legally the goal line. So don't forget to join us again on Friday. Greater Sudbury Cubs come to town to play the Powassan Voodoos here at the Sportsplex. For Ben Long and for cameraman, and it's his birthday today. Happy birthday,
Mike Brown.
Mike Brown. I'm Ben Sargent saying thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll see you Friday as the Kirkland Lake Gold Miners win 7-4 over the Voodoos here on Flow Hockey, brought to you by Average Joe's.